Hello, our viewers, and welcome to our special edition of the Youth Empowerment and Innovation Series, which explores the voices and visions of the youth in the country and beyond. And today we are happy to invite Mary Badjie, the Country Supervisor for Young African Network for Global Goals, who also doubles as the Young Executive Secretary at the international level. You're welcome, Mary.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, Mary, this is the first time of us having this program, and we are lucky to have you in the studio today. Which is really impressive, and we are really excited to have a young lady in the studio. And I believe this will be a exemplary to many youth out there, most especially at the international level, as you represent the Gambia at YANGG, which is a very strong institution, and that we expect a lot of things to be happening. And like YANGG is organizing something in the country, but before we delve into that, can you tell us more about yourself at that level?
Okay, greetings everyone, and thank you for hosting me. I'm glad to be here, and it's indeed a great honor to be part of this first edition. And then I am Mary K. Badjie, like you rightly mentioned. I'm a youth activist and a youth leader as well, and also an international activist on youth empowerment, especially women and children. So basically, I'm a member of YANGG, and both the international board and at national level as well. I'm serving as the executive secretary of YANGG International, and also the supervisor of YANGG Gambia chapter. And like you mentioned, we're working on a summit which is going to be massive and exclusive, of course. For the first time hosting it in the Gambia, it's going to be a big thing.
What were some of the procedures that Gambia for the first time is being able to secure this?
Actually, YANGG is a very big initiative, like I said previously, because it cut across all countries in Africa. And then Gambia happening to be, I can say, one of the smallest countries hosting this big summit for the first time here was not an easy task. But then we have to prove ourselves. We have to show to the entire Africa that Gambia is able and capable of hosting this, and this is how we were able to lobby the opportunity to host this summit.
Yeah, we have seen YANGG with the tag going with the upcoming summit that the Gambia is expected to host, like one summit, one vision, one Africa.
Exactly.
Can you elaborate more on that?
Yeah, sure. Actually, the mentality behind the motion of one summit, one Africa, one people is to call forth all African youths to under one umbrella, because if we really want to see the Africa that we are all fighting for or craving for, we can only do that when we come together. So this is a kind of a call to unity and a call to oneness as African youths and as future leaders of this able, great empire, I will call it, of course. The continent of Africa is really great and blessed. We have very intellectuals who can move this continent forward. But then we can only do that if we are united, if we are speaking under one voice, if we are all striking together and working together. So the main purpose of hosting this summit and bringing a motion like that is to let the people understand that in as much as they're coming from different diversities, because we are expecting international delegates from across Africa, so they're coming to the Gambia as in meeting their sisters, meeting their brothers, to be one, to bring out that unity that Africa has, to bring that connection and to build the bond between African youths to be able to achieve our goals as future leaders.
Before we delve more into that, let's come to your personal level. What really inspired you to get into the position of supervising Gambia or representing Gambia at YANGG?
Actually, it was not a position that I lobbied for. It was a position that was recommended. The entire board deemed it fit that I'm capable enough to to supervise the entire Gambia chapter.
Tell us the qualities that they have recognized.
Okay, the qualities are that I'm a type of leader that is very inclusive and open-minded. Of course, I'm someone that consider everyone's potentials, like no one is discriminated. Because the bottom line is, no matter who you are or where you're coming from, there's something you can do.
Yeah.
So when you're under that type of a leader that actually give you the opportunity or the chance to express yourself or to showcase your talent is something that is really remarkable to the board members. And also, one can say the intellectual or the bilingual side of me, because I'm able to communicate fluently with anybody, regardless of where you're coming from. So that's something that was really remarkable on my skills and potentials and make them, actually nominate me to be the country supervisor for the Gambia chapter.
With that leadership position that you have taken to represent Gambia at that level, so far, what are some of the progressive or impressions that you have gathered at your personal level?
Okay, at my personal level, well, before I became the country supervisor, the YANGG Gambia chapter was it was not effective, it was not active, and it was not even registered. So when I came on board, I made sure all those things were sorted out. We got registered, making sure we get a bank account, we get everything necessary as an institution or an organization to settle down to make sure we do our work and functions properly. Because I'm very official, and I'm the type that really considers everything being done according to protocol and the right way. So this is why I started with all those things. We make sure we laid a very good foundation so that at least when we are not there tomorrow, the people who are coming after us will have a stepping stone to take it up from, not to start from scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, that is really an impressive thing. But considering, like, when it comes to Gambia, considering the female aspect of it, when it comes to politics or maybe leadership position, it is really something that most women feel like sitting back, or maybe like they feel like maybe men to lead than seeing themselves in those above positions and all that.
Well, gone are those days.
Yeah, gone are those days. As we are seeing, a lot of young women are coming up with a lot of things. Considering the business aspect of it, we have seen, like, even in the political aspect of it, or a lot of things, like in many aspects, women are really trying in the country right now.
You're taking the lead,
So seeing you at this position, it is not something that is really surprising. And like coming forward with the summit that is coming, we have seen a lot of ambitions, and also people are really aiming towards it to see like it is successful with your leadership.
Actually, within a week or so, we've registered over hundreds of youths who are officially registered with YANGG to attend the summit. Which was really impressive. It shows how interested the Gambian youth are to attending the summit and making sure that they take part in shaping Africa's future when it comes to leadership.
Coming down to the summit that you are going to host as the country supervisor, does the summit hold or have anything to do with the goals of YANGG?
Of course, yes. It has everything to do with the goals of YANGG, because YANGG is a network that connects all African youths, being it under entrepreneurship, leadership, and every other aspect that has to do with youths and their activities and engagements. So the only way we can have youths together under one platform is organizing summits like this to make sure all the youths across, who knows, maybe next year it's going to be another country and the Gambian delegates will have to travel to that country to host the summit. So this is something that is really considered when it comes to YANGG. And mind you, the summit is not the only thing that we do. We also commemorate mental health days and then human rights day and all other important days that are celebrated. We do it at YANGG level in a different style. Like every chapter will have their activities done. So actually, the summit is not the only thing that we do at YANGG. We have so many other activities. Like I said, we are just, showing up the Gambia chapter of YANGG. This is why a lot of people are getting to know it. But YANGG have been in existence since 2013. And then we've done a lot of work and a lot of achievements across Africa.
What benefit does this summit have to do at the local level and wider continent of Africa?
Okay, at the local level, this continent would actually create an avenue for youths to interact with their fellow youths outside the Gambia, and then also have the chance to, let's say, work together or partner in their various activities, being it in business, in entrepreneurship and all that. So let's say there's a friend in Ghana who is supposed to come to the summit, you know, get to meet a young able person like you, and maybe he's also into journalism or entrepreneurship or another thing, and then you guys connect and exchange contact, and then along the line, you get to share ideas on how he's doing his journalism over there in Ghana or Nigeria or anywhere, and how you're doing it here in the Gambia. You guys try to connect the dots and see if it's the same thing that is happening in Ghana that is happening in the Gambia and all that. And when it comes to business and entrepreneurship, of course, we have young entrepreneurs and young businessmen and women who will be attending the summit, and we also have the likes of them in the Gambia. So they will be creating that bond and that connection to trade with one another, to make things easy. Let's say, for instance, you're going to let's say you're going to Rwanda for a business trip, and then you happen to meet this friend at this summit when you're going to Rwanda, and you'll be like, okay, dear friend, I'm coming to Rwanda for so. I would like to see you, and if it's possible. And you're like, no, don't worry, like, you don't need to book a hotel, just come to my home and stay there. So that connection is very important, that we want to make sure there is easy trade and easy transaction between youth of Africa to get that bond connected, because we're all one, like the
that brings to me the question that, like, this summit, is it only going to be focusing on maybe gathering statement from youth from different countries that are gathering in the country, or will it be open enough for, like, youth in the Gambia that are dealing with different aspects to come and showcase their talent? If you are into business, you come and show the skills and, you know, to learn from one another.
Right. Well, I wouldn't want to reveal the entire agenda of the summit as of now, but then I'll give you a tip of the iceberg. So basically, the summit is not just about entrepreneurship and all that. Like, it's not going to be the normal summits that we know, like being in a conference hall, having to go through lectures and trainings throughout. We have a range of activities that we are going to do from morning to noon. So it's not going to be a whole day classroom learning or sort of. We have the sports activities, we have the cultural displays, and many others that I wouldn't want to name as of now. But yes, they're going to be surprises and very interesting. You will have to experience a different version of the summits that you've ever been to. Like, we're making summits with a different, because it has to do with youth. So we need to bring the youth vibe into the summit to make sure everyone has a space in it. So regardless of your perspective, regardless of what you do, whether you're into sports, you are into agriculture, you are into cultural activities or anything, even poetry or music or any other thing that you think of, is going to be inclusive.
Once again, you are reminded that you are following us on the Youth Empowerment and Innovation series that is coming to you on TXD TV. And here in the studio, we have a very active and innovative young lady that is not a person, but Mary K. Badjie. Mary, moving on with the questions, what challenges do you foresee in organizing such a large event, and how do you plan to overcome this?
Okay, that's a very important question, because we know having to put together the most potential African youths under one umbrella, especially a country like the Gambia hosting it, is not really an easy thing. But then, like I said, we are leaders with a difference. So we make sure every challenges that comes, we find a solution for it. For instance, let's say we are hosting outside delegates who have no idea about what Gambia looks like. Some of them have never been to the Gambia. So there are some of the questions and concerns that they raise actually send us back to the drawing board to make sure we consider those points. So that's not like a setback for us, but it's a learning process as well. So as the summit process is going from stage to stage, we are making so many discoveries and adjustments and everything. So which is a very normal thing, because there's nothing permanent when it comes to activities like that. But then the most important thing is that our team is very strong and very focused. We have a very committed team that is really efficient and communicative. That is what is actually helping us to tackle all those challenges that are coming forward, ranging from financial challenges and many other challenges.
I want to ask that question. So far, gathering such a larger group of youth, it's not really easy. We understand, and as you just mentioned that you are bringing people from different countries, maybe even our diet are not the same and all that. So with this, how prepared is your team on the ground, making sure that everything goes smoothly with regards to their residents before they go back, feeding and everything?
Okay, that is actually under the finance team. I'll just brief on that, because I wouldn't want to step into their toes, because it's their domain and it's their office, so they know how they're working out things. But then we all know gatherings like that do have sponsors. Of course, we have partners, we have sponsors who are working closely with us, and also at YANGG Global, we don't believe in asking people for everything to do what you want to do. We want to set an example or an initiative that you can start with what you have. You can always do anything that you believe in, starting with what we have. You don't need to have millions to be able to host this. You don't have to have millions to start a business or something. So this is just the example that we are setting. So the last biggest youth gathering that we did was in Nigeria, and it was purposely sponsored by YANGG, and our partners, of course, contributed in other ways and all that. But then the financial aspect of it have to come from YANGG itself. So basically, we do things differently. Like I said, we don't just ask our donors and our partners for everything, but YANGG itself has its own initiatives and ways of making things done within ourselves.
So at this summit, what are your expectations, or what message do you think the attendees should grab from the summit?
Okay. Well, I wouldn't say the message, but the messages, because they are going to go home with a lot of impact, I'm sure of that. And then the main message is for them to understand the fact that in as much as we have so many African philanthropies and Pan-Africanists and all that, we are engaged into so many different things, the most important thing is the unity, like the oneness that the youths are supposed to grab together. Because when you consider the African history, the reason why what happened to our ancestors happened is because our own people were used against us. So we want to make sure our generation does not do a replica of that. So we want to make sure there is this bond and this unity among African youths to an extent that when a cause of fight arises, all African youths across the African continent will be able to stand together under one voice to fight that, or to fight against it or for it. So this is something that will teach them that despite the fact that we speak different languages, we have different cultures and different backgrounds. That's why we are bringing in the cultural day of the summit, to make sure that we share our diversities and make us understand that we need to embrace and appreciate our differences. And our diversity is not a reason for us to be divided, but a reason for us to be united. So that's one of the messages.
Coming to that point, what historical landmark is the Gambia planning in this summit that the whole Africa is going to put eye on the Gambia for this one?
Well, the fact that we are hosting the biggest summit alone is a message already. And then I'm sure after the event, everyone will want to know more about not YANGG Gambia chapter alone, but YANGG itself, to be able to understand the ways we do our activities and all that, because it's going to be.
But what historical landmark at your level as the country supervisor for the Gambia is going to make at this summit that will make difference at any other summit, either in Africa or Europe or wherever.
Well, are you trying to let me bring out the cat out of the bag or something?
Yes,
well, I'm not ready for that anyway, because I wouldn't want my executive members to be mad at, because there's a lot of surprises that we have in store, and we just can't put everything out there. So we can only show or talk about those things during the summit and within the period of the summit. But then what I can assure is that the Gambia is going to successfully host this summit that might seem impossible to others, but we know how prepared we are. We know our level of preparedness, and we know the team that we have on ground. And mind you, the Gambia chapter is not only working alone as the Gambia chapter just because we are hosting, but all the other chapters across Africa are also making efforts and contributing their quota towards the success of the summit. So like, when there is a particular country hosting a summit like this, the rest of the chapters support them in any way that they can and assist them. So it's not just because Gambia is hosting, it's only Gambia that's doing this. This is actually a summit for the Young African Networks for Global Goals, which is YANGG. And then every YANGG chapter across Africa has a role to play in it.
Away from that,
and that alone sends a message, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Away from that, what message do you have to send out to the audience there? Like after this summit, what should we expect of YANGG Gambia?
Okay. After the summit, this is not going to be the end of it. There are many other activities in store. So after the summit, we will be engaging in other activities different from the summit and other perspectives. Perhaps we will bring up initiatives that have never happened in the Gambia through YANGG. And then when we get to the bridge, we'll cross the river.
Yeah. Making it inclusive when it comes to this summit within the Gambia. This is the opportunity, and this is the first time that the Gambia is hosting this, and we don't know when next Gambia will have such an opportunity. So how open is this to the youth across the country?
Actually, this is very open and very accessible to almost all Gambian youth, because according to the registration list, we have registered youths almost across every region in this country. Almost all the regions are already represented according to the registration. And it's something that you do willingly, and it's easy to access. So everyone has the opportunity and the chance to attend the summit and, of course, be part of the change makers.
Finally, what question or what message do you have to send out to the people?
Okay, my final message will be, I should have begun with this. I hope my boss will not sanction me. Well, I would like to say a big thank you to the entire YANGG Global for deeming the Gambia fit to host such a great summit in a country as small as the Gambia. We are small but mighty, and that's what we're trying to prove, of course. And then special appreciation to the international president of YANGG, Mr. Kelechi Njeze, and also the YANGG ambassador, Mr. Collins Ibauchi, and the entire YANGG International Board. They have really been doing a great work. That's a really great and powerful team that we have cut across Africa. And there is a kind of a force of unity and a sense of drive to achieve the global goals within the board members that is really inspiring. So I'm really honored and proud to be a member and one of them. And also to the applicants and all the attendees of the summit, we will want to say come prepared and come with high expectations, because we have a lot in store for you, and there are so many things that you will be experiencing or having to see for the first time.
Don't be surprised to see over 5,000 Gambian youth.
Actually, we have a limited space for the application. Actually, we are expecting at least 300 youths at the summit, and the registration so far is really going at a very fast speed. And then we will soon hit the target, and perhaps the registration form will close. But then nonetheless, everyone is welcome, regardless of your area or your perspective, wherever you might find yourself within or outside the Gambia. You're all welcome to be part of the summit, and there will be delegates that will be joining us online. So after the first phase of the physical registration, we will also have a portion wherein we will create space for those who might not be able to make it but can join us virtually. So we will have them on board as well to participate in the summit. So this is going to be a summit with a difference, like I said. So regardless of wherever you are, maybe some of them are students out there, they're having challenges to travel all the way to the Gambia.
But like for those that are going to be following virtually, there's no limitation.
For those who are following virtually, everyone is welcome. So the fact that you don't have flight ticket or transportation is not an excuse. You're still going to be part of the summit virtually. Yes.
That is Mary K. Badjie, the country supervisor for the Gambia from YANGG, that is Young African Network for Global Goals, who doubles as the executive secretary to YANGG International Board. And this brings us to the end of the program, that is the Youth Innovative Series that comes to you on THD TV. And here I am your host, Mustapha Jarju. Thank you.
Yeah.